Hello everyone, welcome to Quality Thought. So, in the last class, we have discussed the 3R principle, and the 3R principle should be do before going for an interview. So, today I came up with a new topic, that is 3P's principle, and that should be do on during the interview day. So, let us see what those 3P's are and how it is going to help to crack our interviews. So, in that, the first P is the professionalism. So, since our childhood, we have followed informal things in our dressing, in our language, and everywhere. So, giving one example, have you ever seen a Telugu newspaper? So, the language which you see in the newspaper is not the same language that we are using in our daily life conversation. In the same way, English is also a language, and that is consist of two types. One is formal and second one is the informal. So, to be a professional one, we need to transform ourselves from the informal to the formal man. That may be through our dressing, that may be through our language, that may be through anything, where we completely transform ourselves to be a professional one once you step into the company. And how this professionalism should be. So, we can regard a particular person as a professional one by looking his attire. So, our attires matters the most, like the formal one. In that, first point is our attire, and appearance shows seriousness towards the job, where we need to go in a formal dress so that we will be regarded as a professional one. And wear good iron formals. Whatever the formal that we are choosing, choose it wisely. Whatever the shirt colors that you are choosing, that should be light, and don't go for check shirt. And the pant should be a formal pant, and always go with the iron cloths and never show the folds that was there in your shirt. And use light matched colors with minimum accessories. If someone have this habit to wear maximum accessories on their body, but for the interview you need to limit that. Whatever the accessories that you are wearing, that should be minimum. A wristwatch is fine. So whatever the ear piercing that you have, for especially for the men, any tattoos or not properly groomed of your hair will not be entertained. And for the girls, the long hangings, the long earrings are not appreciated. And these were few things we need to maintain before going for interview. Since I'm not discussing about these things detailedly, because in the future classes I'm going to discuss deeply about the grooming and our personal etiquette. So, and also make sure your belt color should match with your shoe color. So this is also an important aspect that we need to maintain during our interview. And next thing, prefer laced shoe with black or brown formal shoes. Whatever the shoes that we are choosing, that should be a formal one. And maintain good hygiene. This is the most important thing during our interview, where we need to have mouth freshener before going for interview. So the bad smell, if you have any bad smell, that should be avoided with this bad hygiene. Next, mild perfume. So to make your environment positive, you need to smell good. For that thing, avoid any bad smell. We normally sweat a lot. It's better to use a mild perfume on your body so that you make that environment in a positive. And also interviewer will also face a good positive vibes. And next, formal and fluent language. Not only through dressing we need to show our professionalism, we should also show our professionalism through our language by inculcating lot of formal words in our language, so that looks more professional. And you need to maintain a good fluency as well along with the formal ones, where we need to be very fluent with our language. And this is the first P of the professional. And let us see the second one. The second one is politeness. So our down to earth behavior is very much important once you go for any interview. Like you will be analyzed in every situation. Once you enter the interviewer office, so you will be analyzed in different parameters, like the way you behave with the receptionist, the way you talk with the other persons who are sitting over there. All these things will be watched carefully, and based on that they will analyze your personality, whether you are having this politeness behavior or not. So it is very important to maintain this politeness in our conversation. And also never say yes or no to any question. That makes you regard as a rude person. So always have a good proper answers with you for every question. So you normally know this trick where questions will be small and answers should be big. So where we need to give a proper explanation for every question that interviewer is going to ask. That's why always make sure don't say any yes or no, simple short answers to the interviewer question. And also reach before the time. So how it will be effective? So if you reach 15 minutes before the interview, so you will adapt to that surrounding. That makes what you will get your ideas. So whenever you are sitting for the interview, your mind will relax if you reach before 15 minutes, so that you will get lot many ideas to the interviewer's questions. So it is always make sure it is always maintaining politeness is very important. Okay, so coming to the third P, the third P is your performance. Based on the performance itself, they will select you or they will not. So it's all depends on your performance. So greetings to the interviewer is very important. Whenever you enter into the room, you only got one chance to impress your, and you never miss that chance, because first impression is the best impression that you all. So always have this gratitude. First, whenever you go for an interview, show your gratitude first by telling him thanks for calling to the interview. And after this, have a greetings with the interviewer. So if the interviewer is really comfortable in handshakes, then it is more appreciated. And sit once you told to do that. So to show your politeness, down to earth behavior, you should not sit until you are told so. So you should only sit whenever the interviewer asks you to sit. That shows your politeness. And it shows the respect towards the interviewer. And next, do not exaggerate or overboost your talent, or don't talk too much. So we normally have this habit. Out of that panicness, we sometimes speak a lot. So if we overshare something, you might get many questions on that. If you can't able to say the answers properly to the question that they were asking about, that you are something faked, then at that time they will understand that you are faking. That's why always be considerate with your words. Have that consciousness in your mind that what to speak, what to not, how much to speak, how much to not. So this is one such important thing that you need to keep in mind during your interview. And next, give a detailed and clear explanation of the question asked. So whatever the question that you are getting during the interview, so you need to have a proper explanation for each and every question. Like, for example, if you have mentioned that a particular skill like problem solving skill is your highest skill in your resume, at that time what you need to do is how it is a skill, highest skill, you need to show with one example that is happened in your real life. And this is how you need to show a lot many examples. So if you say your strength is hard worker, if you are a hard worker, then at that time you should also explain them how you are a hard worker. So this is how your answer should be. It should be very detailed. Whatever the answers that you are going to give, that should be effective, that should be smart, and you have to maintain that spontaneity as well. Where some question arises, you need to maintain that spontaneity by thinking of such answers within that speculated time. So this is one such important. Next, let interviewer complete their questions and don't interrupt in between. The only duty that you have is to listen the questions properly. Your listening skills are very much important here. So once you have listened, your only duty is to listen properly, and whenever you are asked to give the answer, then you have to open your mouth and you have to give your answers. That's the only work that you need to do during the interview. Never question something in the interview process. So once your interview completed, then the interviewer definitely asks you this question: do you have any questions with? At that time, you may ask the questions, whatever the concerns you have. But until then, never question something to your interview in between the interview process, because your duty is to answer, not to question. And next, whatever the practical experiences that you have experienced in your life, try to inculcate those things into your conversation. That looks more appropriate and more appreciative, so that you will have an effective answer. And next, the conversation, ask for few questions at last. If the interviewer asks you any question, if you have any question, at that time have at least 1 to 2 questions with you. Go with 1 or 2 questions with you. That may be about company, that may be about the role that you are going to do, that may be anything, but never say no that you don't have any. And you need to be very honest with the interviewer, and you need to be very genuine. So for example, if you get this question, what is your weakness, so at that time you need to be very honest with that. We are humans, everyone has some flaws, so you need to be honest and you need to accept this fact that you have a particular flaw. And to make it effective, you should also mention this thing that you are working on it to change your weakness into the strength. This is how your effective answer should be. So that's why try to inculcate all these 3 P's during your interview, so that you will have lot many chances to get your interview done. So hope these 3 P's will be helpful to you, and thank you. For more content, please follow